Hode's been the background to most of my life, and I'm deeply attached to it and the landscape around it. I was born in Ulverston, and I spent most of my childhood in the shadow of Hode Hill. When we were young, my brother and I, and all our friends, spent hours of freedom playing on Hode. We built dams, we climbed up and slid down the screes, which are rock faces, not very steep because we were small children, but they're good fun to slide down. I wore my gloves out doing that when I was little, and we spent hours just enjoying ourselves. We gathered berries and wildflowers from the hedgerows. And when I was 18, I left Ulverston, but I returned when my children were young, and they too spent hours playing there in the same way. They did the same things as I did. And now, even now, when my grandchildren visit, one of the things they love doing is to walk with the dogs over Hode, and they always ask if they can do that when they come. But I think what makes it so unique to the local people, and it attracts visitors from all over the world actually, is the monument on the top of the hill, which is it's a copy of the Edison Lighthouse, though it isn't a lighthouse. It doesn't have any lights in it, but it's just the same shape as the Edison Lighthouse. Now that was erected in 1850 in memory of Sir John Barrow, who was a local boy. He got an education, and he learnt to speak Mandarin, and he was obviously clever, but he travelled the world, and he went on, and eventually he became the second secretary to the Admiralty and was sort of in charge of the Navy, and he was responsible for promoting British exploration, and he sent expeditions to try to discover the Northwest Passage, and the local people built a monument to him in 1850. It's 100 feet high, and it stands at 450 feet above sea level.
It's like an attraction, isn't it? Yeah, and people just love to come.
It's such a lovely walk anyway.
It is, and it's easy walking it.
I think it's such an iconic landmark, and it can be seen for miles around. As you approach the town in almost any direction, you seem to be able to see it on the top of the hill. And to me, it seems to represent Ulverston, and it's the venue for so many different events. They have artistic festivals and celebratory events. I even saw a wedding being celebrated up there a few months ago, which was fun. And I think the terrain lends itself to so many sporting pastimes. When you're walking over there, you see runners, people climbing rocks. They're not very high, but they do early rock climbing. And then you get the occasional paraglider, and there are hikers, and also you see dog walkers. You meet the same dog walkers all the time, and everybody stops and has a chat, and it's really nice and familiar. I love walking over the hill with the dogs. Although I've been doing it practically every day for nearly 30 years, I never tire of it. It's a relatively easy walk. It's a bit of a climb in some parts, but it's so special to me because it has the most wonderful panoramic views from the top. You can see the Lakeland Hills at the back, as far away as Scawfell Pike. At this time of year, they're covered in snow, and it looks beautiful. And in front of you, Morecambe Bay stretched out, and every time you arrive at the top, the views are different. It depends on the tide and the cloud formations, the sun, the time of year, time of day, but it's always different. So it's fascinating to me, and I walk over it in all different weathers because I have to, because I have a dog. So I go out in bright sunshine, which is lovely. Sometimes it's pouring with rain, but you still do it. It's still fun to walk. Sometimes it's misty and it's a bit difficult to find a path, but again, that's a bit of a challenge. And even in gale force winds, it can be quite daunting. Whatever the weather is, it always makes me feel invigorated and re-energised when I get home, and I feel it keeps me fit, and I just don't think there's anywhere quite like it, quite so sort of friendly, and it's just a wonderful part of the world.